But I did want to talk about what I did recently and why videos have been inconsistent, which is, annoying. Don't you guys hate it when like a YouTuber does the, oh, sorry, here's my update about what's coming next, guys. I swear I'm coming back. Like, it's the equivalent of like a VTuber who never debuts and is constantly like, it's coming soon, guys. It's going to happen any day now. And then it never happens. And I don't want to be that guy, right? But it is worth talking about this, right? Because it was a lot of work, and I've been at this for a couple months. So, if you're unfamiliar or you didn't watch the last video, I am plugging while also plugging in the chat. That's true, right? But the reason videos have been very inconsistent is because this has been taking most of my time. And you might be thinking, Diesel, this is a website. What could that possibly mean? Well, Diesel in the last, well, I've been at this since about May of last year, and all the paperwork is done, everything is done, and I sell coffee now, right? I tested out all these flavors. I wrote the copy for this, right? So like on this one, like I wrote these tasting notes because I did the tasting for it. I actually have the notebook not here. I think I left the notebook on my bed. I write before bed, but yeah, if any of you want to support us, I'm broke right now because, yeah, I bought 250 bags of coffee, and I know you might not be familiar with 250 bags of coffee looks like, but it's a lot of fucking coffee, right? So technically, I am broke now. Assumedly, in the future, I will be unbroke if I sell enough of the coffee. But right now, there's just a bunch of beans sitting upstairs in containers, right? But yeah, so that's what I did, and like this isn't like a YouTuber rebrand thing. The only thing I did not do was pick or roast these beans. Okay, I'm really good friends with the roaster. They're all single origin, biodegradable packaging, fucking all that shit, right? And so yeah, what is the shipping like on it? It's about $10 generally, depending on where you are in the United States. We like just did a reduction in shipping. So if you're someone who like ordered before, if you are on the West Coast, there is a gift inside your box to accommodate the change in shipping. So yeah, so that's what we did. So shipping's not bad. In the future, we want to be able to do like free shipping and all that other stuff. But there's a lot of like crazy logistic stuff that you guys have never like seen before. F for the Netherlands, but I might poke at my U.S. friends to have a look at it. I have no idea what the shipping would be like for foreigners. We ship very light, so I can't imagine it being too expensive. But we're trying to bring down the cost. I could tell you, but I think it's like $15 if we're talking to like Eurozone type things, right? So somewhere around there. And obviously, the more stuff it is, the more the shipping is gonna be because 12 ounces of coffee is pretty heavy. So all that, but yeah. So there's like all that logistical stuff. And I've been like I've literally been losing hair trying to get this coffee to launch. Um, but yeah, I did all the tasting notes. I tasted 20 coffees, and I chose these three because I thought they would be the most inviting and most interesting. Um, but yeah, so that's what I did. I mean, obviously, I can answer questions about this, even though it's probably very boring when you get into the brass tacks of it. But yeah, I'm very proud of what we have accomplished so far. The site is not like 100% done, so stuff like the ad copy isn't done. So I haven't finished my portion of this on the website. So you might notice that it's still like it's still got stock images from Squarespace. But yeah, so I also made the website. My brother also helped make the website and all that. But what are the flavor notes? Yeah, so I can pull it up. I tried to keep it simple, right? Because people who are on Coffee People aren't gonna understand really complicated fucking tasting notes and stuff like that, right? But I wrote the tasting notes when I tasted them for the first times. So yeah, Bard's Ballad is very berry flavor. It's definitely really acidic. But I'm a big fan of light roast. I think light roasts are very interesting and engaging. So in the future, it's not up yet because if you use code D20 at checkout, you get I think it's like 20% off. But Bard's Ballad is my favorite, and the FPS Diesel channel is gonna have its own code to get a discount code on this coffee. But yeah, and then we obviously have Hole and Ground for everything. So that was the berry one. This one is, this one. So this is a medium light coffee, right? So medium to medium light, right? So you're gonna get a lot of those fruity flavors in it, but you still get like a raspberry chocolatey kind of finish on it. And the art. Okay, so if you're not a coffee drinker, but you like the art, we're gonna be selling the art without the branding on it, right? So you will be able to get a poster of these. And portions of the poster sales are going back to the artist. So if we sell all the posters, he's going to make a pretty sick payday from this. I already paid him well, but this would be a great way to fucking like give back to the guy. He's a really hard worker. He's like really young and really talented. So I want to make sure that he gets money, which is why we did the posters. So we manufactured them, and they'll be up on the website like tomorrow. I'm gonna do it tonight. So tomorrow I'll put out a tweet saying if you want to buy just the art, sans the branding, you can do that. But yeah, we'll set that up for people. Def Smart to also sell posters of art. All the pieces are stunning. Yes. So that was another thing we were gonna do. I just want to make sure that I can do it like we already meet the competition that does so this is tabletop themed coffee, right? We already meet the competition in terms of price, and the trick is to meet or beat the competition. The Quartering was one of the people I wanted to do a better job than, and we have done that. The coffee is better, and I also care about coffee, unlike him, which is, if you watch the streams regularly, you might notice that there was a couple months ago I was bitching about the Quartering's coffee. And I said I worked in coffee, and this is what I was talking about. But yeah, so I wanted to meet or beat the competition. I wanted to make sure that we were being fucking economical in an environmental and sociability way. You know what they say, go broke or go woke. Diesel went woke and broke. Checkmate liberals. The thing is, biodegradable packaging, just so we don't do fucking packing peanuts or bubble wrap. It'll either be water soluble packing peanuts or paper, right? So that way we can make sure that everything is biodegradable, right? And some of that stuff is cheaper. It's cheaper to get paper over packing peanuts. So why wouldn't you do that? I could imagine something like a D20 in the future with orders could be a cute gimmick as well. Well, here's the thing. We're getting custom dice made as well. Yeah, so we talked to a manufacturer, and I have a box of 650 sets of dice. Just D6s for right now. The other kinds will come later. But 650 sets of D6s, so I think that's a set of 6 D6s in a container. I might be wrong on that. Bro is really going all out on this. Yeah, okay. So if this doesn't work, I need a normal job. Right? I've been pretty open about it. YouTube pays like ass. The channel's been doing bad. I funded this business with the money left to me, which wasn't a lot, by my grandmother, right? So she wouldn't want me to waste this money, and so my brother and I took the money. She left us together, and we have pooled it together to build this business. And I want it to be successful for her, to do right by her, to do a good job. And obviously, if I don't sell all the coffee, I'm gonna need to get rid of it. I don't know. I don't know. But just to do something good with it. This isn't me like telling you guys to buy it or anything like that. Obviously, I'd appreciate it if you did. You drop a psych link in the chat. Obviously, I'd appreciate it if you did, but I did just want to talk about it because I've been quiet about it for months. And it was really hard to stay quiet about it because I am passionate about coffee. I like James Hoffmann. I love me some James Hoffmann. Okay? I love goofy coffee shit. It's just who I am, right? But yeah, so that's the site. Also, all the product photography I did. So that's why it looks like shit. Yeah, like I did it. What we did is that I went to IKEA and I bought a bunch of glassware. And so 2 nights ago, I was watching Fish Tank. And while I was watching Fish Tank, I was setting all this shit up and making like a huge mess in my bedroom. I spilled coffee all over the floor. Like it was oh god, it was horrible. So I've been doing that. If you don't drink caffeinated coffee, we're going to do decaf. If you're a tea person, we're going to do tea as well because my brother is a tea guy. But we want to maintain being biodegradable, USDA, organic, and fair trade. Or if I can't do USDA, fair trade, and biodegradable are like requirements for me. USDA I could take or leave. They don't like check up on any of this. You just fill out the paperwork and they just agree to it, which is weird as hell. So we just paid the fees, and now we're USDA organic, and nobody will ever come out, which is insane. I didn't know that it works like that. Very crazy. But yeah, so we're gonna do tea, and we're gonna do fucking decaf and all that. I just want to make sure that I do it right, and I do it well. Because, listen, I know the Quartering makes boohoo bucks on his coffee. I couldn't in good conscience charge you people $20 for 12 ounces of coffee. We actually have a supplier for our biodegradable bags. So that's how we were able to do it. So, yeah. But now I can talk about the Quartering's coffee. And yes, am I biased? Yes, 100% I'm biased. One of the things that I think is important is transparency, right, with coffee. So I know we're kind of retreading ground in terms of streams, right? But now I can talk freely about why the Quartering's coffee is stupid as fuck and you should never buy it, in my opinion. Right? So we'll talk through all this. The Lich Boy is now following Based. Right? So I think he should be allowed to run his business, and he can run his business however he likes. Me as a business owner in the same field as him am doing a finger wag, okay? This is a professional finger wag. Right? So the Quartering makes like 6 figures hand over fist every month with how his channel does, right? He has this coffee, and if you don't know, the Quartering was a marketer, I believe, before this, right? I don't remember for sure, but he created a really, like, this is some slick fucking branding, and I won't lie, his site is better than ours. And then on top of that, he also his has just been around longer, right? Oh yeah, for example, we're also doing K-cups, but the K-cups are going to be biodegradable as well. You'll be able to compost your K-cups that we make. Okay? So I fucking thought this whole thing through, guys, okay? This is why I've been losing my hair. But yeah, let's talk about the Quartering's coffee. All right? So, one of the things I noticed about his coffee, right, is this. It's a direct trade partnership. Right? And if you're curious what that means, I'm fair trade, right? So what fair trade means is that you trade coffee at a fair price with the supplier, the farms. So what you do is the roaster goes to a farm co-op and negotiates the cost to buy the beans from them, right? The beans that they source. What fair trade does is set a floor price minimum so the people who farm the coffee make sustainable wages, right? And the reason this is important is so that way they can, live and, have a good life for the standards of livings that are in their country, right? Because obviously when we buy the raw beans, the beans are cheaper, right? They make less money, right? And then they come here and it's sold as a premium. So what fair trade does is make it more equitable for those farmers, which is important considering they're the people that we get our coffee from. And also we want to make sure that the coffee is not fucking like ruining the environment and shit like that. Plenty of specialty coffee brands, they don't get fair trade, and that's fine, right? Plenty of specialty coffee companies don't do this. So this isn't a quartering thing. This is a thing that happens with specialty coffee all the time. There's no problem with it, right? Because a lot of these companies do still make sure that they pay a premium for the beans that they buy, right? So just because you're direct trade doesn't mean that you're fucking over the farmers, right? But yeah, that basically what direct trade means is that, they cut out the middleman. They go directly to the suppliers. They don't go through like a conglomerate or anything like that, or any like overreaching government bodies and stuff like that, right? But the reason direct trade is good is because if you're just like completely business pilled, you can get a better price, right? Because you can lowball them for the coffee beans, right? And if Quartering runs this business the way I think he does, right? I assume he has a roaster. I don't think he's rebranding coffee. I think he has employees based on how big his business is. So I'm taking a guess there. So the Quartering, or like people he works with, go to the coffee bean people and then buy the beans at a cheaper price, right? Because they can do that. I want to make sure everybody in the whole fucking process of this business is making it out with some cash, okay? And not getting like fucked over, which is why we are fair trade, right? And that is something I will try to maintain for every single one of our products. Sometimes it's very hard, but like for example, right now, everything you get has been made in the US, right? So that's another thing. The dice are manufactured somewhere. I can't remember, but I've spoken to the company. But yeah, so that is what direct trade is. And the reason, and it's also why direct trade can be bad, right? Because some people get fucking lowballed, right? Now, I hate this. I hate this. I'm not trying to buy anybody on anything like. Okay, listen, if you think environmental consciousness is fucking like some woke bullshit, fine, go right ahead. Whatever. I don't give a fuck. But we live here on this planet. I don't want to just create undue waste, right? But I think this is so funny given that the Quartering is a political content creator. We don't want your vote, we want your business. They're committed to earning and keeping it forever. I mean, me too, but like you're Jeremy Quartering, so fucking are you kidding me? Right? So obviously when I buy coffee from the roaster, right, he sells it to me at a different price than what you buy it. Right? And this is just how the business works. The reason I get it at a cheaper price, right, is because he produces extra volume and he needs to get rid of that coffee. So what happens is that I say, I need this, this, and this. Did you know that insert thing I disagree with, environmental consciousness, is third grade insult, gay? It was written like you were coding an insult. All right, so I buy the coffee at a lower price than you buy the coffee. And you might be thinking, well, Diesel, that's fucking cringe. Now I'm buying the coffee at a higher price than you. When you go to a supermarket or a store, you see the unit price and then the retail price. The unit price is what they pay per 1,000, right? Or per some number, right? So the water that they buy from like Poland Springs, right, is like $3 for a pack of 12. And then you buy it for like $4 or $5, right? The reason it's cheaper is because they are buying it in a quantity that you would not buy coffee at, right? You guys aren't buying 400 bags of coffee or anything like that, right? So I sell it at a retail price to you, right? Now, there's a like math on the back end that helps us determine what the profit is. I mean, we're not making like killer money, but like it's okay, right? We've only sold 8 orders in case anybody's curious. When you do fill out an order, there's a very good chance that you might be numbers 9 or 10. But yeah, that's just how it works, right? And you can go to the supermarket and check this out and look at that difference yourself. But again, you're not buying 1,000 bananas. You're buying 1 bundle of bananas. And now I know the cost of coffee, right? Which is why our cost is $14.99. So for example, right, here, I'll pull them up. Let me just switch back to. So we're making tabletop coffee, and I've met the competition. I've talked to them, right? So this is a competition, and don't buy from them. Buy from me because I'm based in Diesel Pilt. But they're $15, right? This is specialty coffee. And I should also say that we do more than they do for the environment, but right? So it's $15 for their bag, right? And this is all determined on the back end, right? You might go to a supermarket and you notice your specialty coffee section, they're all around $14 to $16. That's because of what the floor price is, and any higher than that, people are going to go, well, that's expensive for coffee. What makes it different? Right? So Jeremy has sold his coffee for $18 fucking dollars. $18 for a dark roast coffee. Are you fucking kidding me, Jeremy? This is highway robbery. All right? We changed the cost of shipping by $2. And I included an extra gift. $18? That's really expensive, right? He is making a super high premium on this coffee. All right? Premium cold brew dark. This is cold brew bags. Right? For $20. Obviously, guys, the piss in the basement guy, he doesn't deserve your business, right? But this is his business, and I find these prices out fucking rageous. It annoys me, right? Because I love coffee, I like specialty coffee. I want to put more coffee in the hands of people who wouldn't normally get it. The higher the price, the harder it is to get people into specialty coffee. Okay, that's just how it is. $18 for a light roast, insane. Fucking medium roast, 18. Oh, here's another thing. When you get a lot of artificially flavored coffees on the market, I've not tasted one that tastes good. Okay? The natural flavors that you can get out of coffee are wild and varied, but the flavored stuff is usually really gross. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying the Quartering would actually just put rat poison in coffee bags or someone that he disagree with. I'm just saying it wouldn't surprise me. Thank you, Soup. Fucking $20 for flavored coffee. Insane. Like, okay, so if we're talking like $15 gets you some profit, $18 pushing it, but maybe the coffee's good. $20, what? Is the flavoring worth $2? Do you know? Okay, guys, like artificial flavorings, you buy them, right? The quantities that manufacturers buy artificial flavors at is like in fucking sane. So the fact that it would just be like $2 when you add a flavor to it, but it ruins the coffee. It ruins the coffee. I'm a coffee snob, right? It annoys me. For stuff like this, one thing that you learn This is all like so what you do, right, is you buy stuff from a manufacturer and you get them to put your branding on it. That's really what this is. Um like I don't have like a CNC machine. I can't manufacture things here. That's exactly why I reached out to a business to make fucking dice for us. But the dice are also they have like custom designs in it, so it's not like some dick around fucking press in label on a fucking cup. But that's the quarter inch coffee. It's very bad, and now I can actually give context to what I was saying last time I talked about it. But we as a coffee company, Mana Potion Coffee Company, will always maintain transparency. Okay, as a YouTuber, it's important for me to be open. For the longest time, his coffee has been one of my motivators for starting this. Right, I said to myself and my brother, right, I told them, I'm like, whatever we do, we need to beat the quartering. We need to beat his prices. And obviously we're going to beat him. But like I just needed to do it better than him, right? And obviously we don't have the amount of products he has. We'll meet that. But I plan to always beat his prices, period.